people think that this question is kind of no-brainer and an obvious one. It's not as easy as you think sometimes to figure out why there is a bad smell on your dog. I have people ask sometimes, and they say, we've given him a bath and he still smells. I can't figure this out. Why does my dog stink? So remember that all dogs have unique aromas. Some breeds are smellier than others. Your dog's unique smell comes from the oils on his skin. Some dogs produce more oil, some dogs produce less oil. While you may not like that natural aroma of your pup, there is a distinct difference between the quote-unquote normal smell of a dog and a stinky dog, a stronger odor that's caused by something other than those natural oils. I personally love snuggling my dogs and smelling them. I love that smell. But there is a definite noticeable difference between that normal dog smell and something stinky. So there's actually quite a few reasons why your dogs might smell bad. One reason that a lot of pet owners don't know about, so they're not aware of, is a dog's anal glands. Anal glands are present in the dog's anus, containing an oil that has this really nasty, fishy kind of smell. Each time your dog has a firm bowel movement, it will express those glands so those oils don't build up. If you have a dog that usually has soft stools or is having a bout of diarrhea, or if those glands become infected, the resulting smell from your dog can be very disgusting, and it could also be painful for your dog. There are reasons why the glands aren't working properly. So if you just think your dog has a little upset stomach, it's nothing serious. It's been a little bout of diarrhea, but you notice it clearing up after a day or two, that's one thing. If it's something that's been long term, if you notice that smell but nothing's wrong with your dog, chances are there's an issue with the glands. They may be infected. They need to be manually expressed. There's something wrong there. So you should seek veterinary advice for that. Your veterinarian or a professional groomer should be able to express the glands and get rid of that fishy smell. Typically, we don't notice the smell because when your dog's going to the bathroom, the odor of the stool overpowers the odor of that oil. So we don't often notice that smell. So when we do, it seems like something's wrong because you don't think that that's normal for your dog. It actually is normal for those oils to be there, that smell to be there. We just don't typically notice it when the glands are expressed. But when there's a problem, that's when we notice it. So if you're noticing a really awful fishy-like smell, it's your dog's anal glands, and just a quick call to your vet or your groomer should be able to take care of that. Another common reason dogs are stinky is because their bedding or their toys, their things that they're snuggling with, laying on, spending a lot of time around, are stinky. So if you haven't washed your dog's bedding and you can't remember how long, it's time to clean his bedding. A lot of people don't think of that, but the dirt, the dander, the oils build up on his bedding and cause a stinky smell. So even if you bathe your dog, then he goes and lays on his bed, takes a nap. After a couple of days, he's going to be right back to that stinky smell again. So make sure that you're addressing his bedding, his toys, his belongings. If he has a crate, his crate mat, anything like that, that your dog spends time laying on, snuggling with, anything, blankets, get that in the wash. You should be washing your dog's belongings at least once a month, if not every few weeks. So make sure that you're doing that, and that's not what's causing the smell. Diet is another reason why a dog might have a certain odor, and that's something that pet owners don't often think about. When a dog's food intake is high in carbohydrates, foods that have a lot of artificial fillers and additives, it changes the chemistry in the dog's body. So it might be internally, your dog has bad breath because of poor diet. There can be digestive issues which cause gas, which either they're burping or they're farting. That's causing the odor, and that's all linked to diet. It can also be an external odor. It changes the body chemistry, it changes the chemicals. So those oils that are excreted by your dog's skin change, and there could be a foul odor to that. So you want to make sure that you're feeding a high quality diet to your pet. If you notice that you're giving him a bath and within just a few days he's starting to smell again, if you notice your dog has a lot of gas one way or the other, that is a sign of a poor diet. So you can make that change really quickly and easily, and you'll take care of that problem. Dog breath is a huge reason why dogs smell, and dog dental health is actually one thing that a lot of owners neglect, not on purpose, but because we just don't think of it. You assume that when your dog's chewing on things, you know, he's eating crunchy kibble, that's scraping all the stuff off of his teeth and kind of naturally cleaning them. But that is not the case. Your dog's dental health is just as important as yours. Periodontal disease is one of the most common diseases seen in dogs, and it can lead to some really serious health conditions like heart problems, liver problems, certain types of cancer. So it is really serious. It's something to take serious, your dog's dental health, and it's something that you should be looking into immediately if it's not something that you already do. Brushing your dog's teeth, I've made some video guides on how to care for your dog's dental health. There are water additives, there are dental chews, you can get professional cleanings at your veterinarian. There are lots of ways that you can and should be taking care of your dog's dental health, and that will help with his bad breath. And again, diet is a cause of bad breath as well. So if you do monitor your dog's dental health, if you are brushing his teeth, if he is, eating dental chews once in a while, if you are getting those regular cleanings, it may be a diet issue, and that's what's causing the bad breath, because obviously when he's not digesting things properly, the gases and odors in his stomach have to go somewhere, so they will come out of his mouth and he will have bad breath issues. Ear infections and yeast infections are another reason why dogs may have an odor that people aren't always aware of. We associate ear infections and yeast infections with being painful, uncomfortable, itchy. Your dog's going to be scratching at his ears all the time or shaking his head a lot, and that's all accurate, but you don't realize that the bacteria that's causing those infections is also putting off a foul odor. So especially droopy ears, and there are certain breeds like Basset Hounds that they just happen to be a breed who has more ear trouble than other dogs. There are other breeds as well. You can click the link below this video for more information on dog ear infections, how to treat those, some home remedies for dog ear infections. But for the purpose of this video and why your dog smells, the yeast is what's causing the smell. So sometimes you just need to clean your dog's ears. Some dogs need their ears cleaned more often. So it could be that simple. Buy a good dog ear cleaner and clean your dog's ears once a week or so, and you will be good to go. If the smell is overpowering, if it smells really strong like old spoiled milk, if it's a really nauseating odor, there's something more wrong than just having to clean your ears out, and this is when you need to call your vet. It's probably a bacterial infection that is going to need to be treated by some prescription medications. Flatulence, I touched on this earlier. Obviously, that is causing a smell. I have quite a few pet owners who reach out to me and say, my dog farts all the time. It's awful. They smell so bad. Why does he do that? What can I do to prevent it or cut down on that? So first and foremost, there are breeds that are just more prone to flatulence, especially brachycephalic breeds with the scrunchy nose dogs. They inhale more air just normally when they're breathing, when they're eating, they inhale more air, and so they are just naturally more flatulent. It doesn't mean that there's not another issue, but do keep that in mind. However, diet, again, back to diet, it is so important for your dog's overall health and well-being. Gut health is the reason why most dogs have a problem with gas. Just like in humans, if you eat something that's not so good for you, you go out for fast food, or you go to the county fair and eat a bunch of junk that you're not supposed to eat or that doesn't necessarily agree well with your stomach, you're going to be really gassy, bloated, uncomfortable. The same thing can happen to dogs. So make sure that your dog's eating a high quality diet. Try to stay away from human foods, treats, processed foods that they shouldn't be eating, and try a pre and probiotic to get your dog's gut back on track. Those are formulated with good bacteria that will help to balance the dog's digestive tract, soothe any irritation, and get things back on track to digest properly and reduce that flatulence. A couple of reasons why your dog may smell bad is that he went outside and he rolled in something. Dogs love to roll in stinky things, feces, the dead animals, anything that they can find out there. We live in Maine in a very rural area, so if there's anything like we live on the river, so sometimes there's dead frogs, and once they start decaying, my dogs love to roll in them. It's disgusting, but if you don't catch them and they roll in something, it can be a horrid, awful smell. So that's one reason. Skunks are another reason. If you've ever had a dog that got sprayed by a skunk, I'm so sorry for you. That is an issue that a lot of pet parents have to deal with from time to time, and that can be a really difficult smell to get rid of. After you bathe your dog and get rid of that initial skunky smell, there can be a long-lasting stink after that. That's not quite as strong as the initial skunk urine smell, but it just lingers. The oils linger in your dog's fur, and especially when your dog gets wet, you'll notice that smell come out. Same thing with rolling in things. Sometimes, you give them a bath and you think it's gone, but the oils, the bacteria, it sticks in your dog's fur, and until you strip all of that out, you're still going to be getting that smell, that underlying smell coming up sometimes, specifically usually when your dog is wet. So that's something to address. Grooming, regular grooming is something that you need to do in order to, keep your dog healthy and keep him smelling good. So depending on issue at hand, I'll say, will depend on the type of grooming that you're going to do. If it's just, regular grooming, giving your dog a bath, like I said, his skin excretes that oil. So from time to time, you want to make sure you bathe him. You're getting the old oil, the dander, the dirt that's built up off, so he's not carrying that smell around with him. So, if it's just regular bathing, it really depends on the dog. Some dogs, like I said, produce more oils than others. They need to be bathed more often. Your dog may need a bath once a month. Some dogs only need a bath every 2 or 3 months. So depending on your dog's needs, and you can consult a professional groomer or your veterinarian. I have done a video guide as well on how often you should be grooming your dog. But if it's just standard grooming, it's not something that needs to be done daily. It's something that can be done once in a while typically. If your dog has rolled in something, if he's been sprayed by a skunk, you need to make sure that you're removing all of the yucky stuff, that's whatever it might be causing the smell. So the best thing to do is to use commercial treatments that are made specifically for odor on pets, or you can try a home remedy. I do have some home remedies that I use on my dogs, ingredients that you probably have around your house, like peroxide, Dawn dish soap, those sort of ingredients, and you can check this video here shows my home remedies for dog shampoos that will strip all of that stinky stuff and get your dog smelling good again. You need to cut, especially in skunks or when your dog rolls in something, there's oils in those things that stick with your dog's fur. So you need to strip those oils. That's the important part. And sometimes just a regular dog shampoo isn't going to do that. So there are some really easy home remedies with some ingredients, like I said, vinegar, peroxide, dog dish soap, things you probably have around or you can get really easily and affordably to get rid of those smells. So grooming is kind of a multi-tiered reason why your dog could stink. There are some different levels and some different things that you need to do based on the issues that you're having with grooming your dog. Finally, urinary tract infections or incontinence can be another reason why your dog smells. If you notice the smell of urine, it could be a urinary tract issue or that your dog is having incontinence issues. We think of incontinence and you kind of think of, you know, a big puddle of urine, but that's not always the case. Sometimes it's a little dribble, just a few drops at a time. And so if your dog's in bed and he just dribbles a few drops of urine, you know, that you're probably not going to notice that at first, but over time that smell is going to build up. So you want to make sure that you're checking for that. If you notice a smell of urine, there's something wrong. Urinary tract infections can cause some dribbling of urine as well. So make sure that, you know, if that's the smell that you're smelling is urine, you want to make sure that you're calling your veterinarian and scheduling an appointment. Any abnormal urine smells should be reported to your veterinarian. It very well could be something that's easily treated, but it could be a sign of something more serious. So depending on, you know, the smell that you're smelling, if it's urine, you want to make sure that you're getting that checked out, and clean bedding regularly. There are some things you can give your dog, like supplements like cranberry supplements, to try to help boost that urinary tract health. But first and foremost, seek veterinary care, and then, you know, think about ways that you can keep your dog from having that odor. If it's a urinary tract infection, your vet's going to prescribe medication and it'll be cleared up within a couple of days. If it's an incontinence issue, that's something to talk to your veterinarian about, depending on the severity of it. Medications can help that as well. If not, there are dog diapers. Again, making sure bedding is rotated and cleaned frequently. So there are ways to help your dog with incontinence and also prevent that.